So let's talk about water clarity. I think another aspect of water quality besides your ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate is water clarity. And that is, you know, how clear your water is. And just because it's clear, that doesn't mean it's healthy. You can have toxic levels of ammonia and nitrite and chlorine, for example. Your water would be clear, but the water would be dangerous for your koi. The opposite is true too, that because your water is not clear, it could be murky, it could be green, and you can't see through the bottom, and yet it could be the healthiest of water. But in the end, being in the koi hobby, you'd want clear water so that you can see your fish. But water clarity is pretty much subjective. Unlike the other water qualities, your ammonia and nitrite and nitrate, you can measure it and it'll give you a numeric number, numeric level. For example, your ammonia is measured at 0.25 milligrams per liter and your nitrate is measured at 20 milligrams per liter. But how about water clarity? Is there a gadget that can measure water clarity? Well, there is such a gadget. It's called a Turbidity Meter, and it's not even that expensive. Just kidding, it's really expensive. It says here $970. What it does measure is the amount of suspended solids in the water. These are little, very tiny molecules that are suspended. That means it neither floats up to the top of the water and it doesn't sink to the bottom of the water either. It just stays suspended in the water. And in the pond hobby, we call this, or what I hear all the time, is referred to as fines in the pond water. These particles are the tiniest of particles that you might not even see with the naked eye. You'll need the finest of filters to be able to capture them. But these expensive turbidity meters are able to detect them and give out a reading. So I've debated many times whether to get this turbidity meter or not over the last couple of years. But in the end, I said it's way too expensive. It's not like I can buy it and try it out and return it. I don't think it'll be easily returnable if I'm not happy with it. I mean, if it works and I'm happy with it and if it's useful, I'd be happy to keep it. But in the end, no, I don't think it's worth the financial risk to buy one. So the next thing I found was this Hanna checker. It's fairly cheap. Here I'm on the UK site. It's 67 pounds. Here in Canada, it's $60, so it's even cheaper here. You guys get ripped off there all the time. So when I first saw this checker on the website, I got really curious. It's a checker for the color of water. So what is that? Well, after a difficult search on the internet, it turns out there is such a thing as a measurement for the color of water. And I'll post the link of this article on my description. So we've seen it all before, the color of our pond water. In the summer, it may appear green because of the algae that's suspended in the water. And sometimes when you put clay, it would have that milky white color. Or if there are runoffs after a rain event, the water might look brown for a while. And if there are a lot of dead and dying leaves from plants, it would have that tan colored. I think that's from the tannins that's seeping into the water from the plants. Or it could be just like right now when the water looks clear and colorless. That's because there's not much algae in the pond when it's cold, and the daytime is short, and we're not feeding our koi as much. In this article, they talk about two ways to measure the color of water. One is the apparent color of water, and this is what the water looks like or measured at when there is both suspended particles in it and also dissolved particles in it. And then the other measure is the true color of water, is when the suspended particles are filtered out of the water, leaving you with just the dissolved materials in it. So, okay, these suspended particles, how big are they, and can they be filtered out of the water? These are single-celled algae. They are about 2 microns. I see these single-celled algae a lot under the microscope. They are caught in my filters. So when the filters, when I clean the filters, you look at the mulm under the microscope, and if you look at the highest magnification and look very closely, you'll see many of these single-celled algae. And yes, they can be filtered, especially with fine filters like filter floss, and especially if these filters are just about to clog. And you can tell that they're there because the filter floss or the filter sponge kind of looks green. Depending on the application, anything less than 2 microns is considered dissolved. Some can be more strict than that anything less than half a micron would be considered dissolved. But for this purposes, I think it's better that it be less than 2 microns to be dissolved for this kind of application in terms of measuring the color of water. So just to put a picture in your head how big a micron is, this is a picture of a human hair under an electron microscope. The width of it is about 70 microns. And your drum filter mesh has a diameter of 70 microns. So theoretically you can stick a hair through the mesh there, and whatever comes out of that would be considered suspended particles. Again, single-celled algae is 2 microns. It's considered suspended materials. This is an electron microscope picture of Kostya sucking on a poor fish gills. It is 2 microns. So if this was ever to let go and ended up in the water, it'll be considered a suspended particle. Bacteria, which is 1 micron, would be considered dissolved material. And viruses, which is 1,000 times smaller than bacteria, would be considered as dissolved. And obviously, coffee is dissolved particles whose molecules, which is caffeine, is 100 times smaller than viruses. And you can see there the color of coffee. So in this article, it says the most commonly used color scale is the platinum cobalt color scale. This system is comprised of 1,000 color units or platinum cobalt units. If one were to use platinum cobalt color scale to measure a lake's water that is especially clear, that is, it's colorless, the color readings would probably be less than 10 PCU, whereas lakes that have a little color will have a true color measurement ranging from 20 to 50 PCUs. And on the far end of the spectrum, lake water that is extremely dark in color will have a color reading of 500 PCU or higher. So it seems like we finally found an instrument that can actually measure how clear our water is. And in a moment, we'll give this a try. So this is the package I got from Hanna Instrument recently, and I ordered a replacement for some reagents for my Hanna meter. Package for ammonia and chlorine and nitrite. And when I was ordering the reagents, it would be a shame because the shipping is expensive, so might as well put something else in the box. And this is what I got here. And we're gonna test it out for the first time. And it is the Hanna handheld calorimeter for color of water. So let's see what's in here. Haven't tried it yet, so you're gonna see it for the first time. See if it's good or if it's a failure. Oh, I have to put in. So now the battery's in, and take off this plastic here, and we turned it on, and the usual C1 prompt goes on, and then see, we read the instructions. And it says, "Dear customer, thank you, da-da-da-da." That's not what we want. Description and intended use. Color of Water handheld checker is designed to accurately determine the color of water. True color is caused by dissolved compounds in water. It can be natural or artificial. Dissolved and suspended solids together cause apparent color. ideal for water testing and quick on-the-spot analysis. So that's what it's all about. And just to mention, what I like about these colorimeter is that you can check your water quality without having to buy these strips or reagents. So you're not depending on these. So let's go on to the first part. It says press the on and off button to turn on the checker. It'll say C1, and then fill the cuvette up to 10 ml mark with deionized water. So that's what I forgot. So this is just distilled water. I think that's the same as deionized water. So we fill a cuvette to 10 mils. And I usually rinse these cuvettes first. Before I put in the actual test solution. So this is the blank solution. You put it in there. And then press once. Anytime now, it should say C2. There you go. So now it says fill the second cuvette with the test solution. So this is pond water. I've already rinsed the second cuvette with the pond water. So now this is supposed to be the unfiltered sample, and you put it in back to the checker, and then press the button. And we get a reading of 15. And this is supposed to be the apparent color of the pond. Looks pretty clear to me. Looks apparently clear. Let's see what happens when we filter it. So now it says, remove the cuvette and press the on and off button twice to restart the checker. I think it just means to turn it off, which it's not doing right now. it's restarted. And then it says filter 50 ml of a sample through a 0.45 micron membrane filter into a beaker. Well, I don't have a 0.45 micron filter. I don't know where to get those. But I do have coffee filters. I got lots of these. And upon research, they can filter, they usually filter up to 20 microns. So good enough for this application, right? So we'll go ahead and filter that. I'm gonna use this beaker and my coffee filter. So instead of one, I'm gonna double it. So who knows, it might even filter smaller than 20 microns when using two filters. It'll be interesting if it does filter much of anything, because it looks pretty clear. So now we'll rinse this cuvette with the apparent color water, and then we'll rinse it. Maybe rinse it again. Fill it to the 10 ml mark. So now this is the cuvette with the, that's going to give us the true color. So we'll start the same procedure again. Turn on the meter until it says C1. And then we're going to zero the instrument again using this blank solution that contains distilled water. Just press once. That didn't take that long this time. It's learning. And now let's test for the true color. Just press once. Geez, what does that say? 0? I can't believe that. But who knows? I just can't believe that. I would think it will have a reading of 2. But anyway, it's the first try. I will let you know on later videos whether this is accurate or not, or if the trends make sense. So, just thinking, this could, if this proves to be accurate, I can think of several uses for this instrument in the pond hobby. Like right off the bat, using koi clay, you know, this, just like those phoque clays. People say that, you know, they make your water sparkle. And they always say, yeah, right after the clay, you see sparkling clean water or sparkling clear water. So wouldn't it be nice to test your water, the color of water, before using the clay, and then a few days after using the clay? That'd be kind of neat if somebody could do that. I don't use clay, but who knows, maybe later on I might try it. And think of another one. Oh yes, food, koi food. Many people say, you know, this kind of food makes the water look, it colors the water. So, you know, you can test out the water first, and then try the new food and see if you have better color or worse color after trying out the koi food. I don't change koi food, but who knows, maybe later on I'll try it. But again, like, if somebody else can try it, that'd be kind of neat. For me, I think it'd be useful to see in the summer or heading into spring whether algae is coming. They tend to come, and you can kind of figure out that the water is turning a little bit green compared to like in the winter. So in the winter right now, the water is very clear. It might help me detect as to what time of the year, in terms of what month algae starting to take a hold, so to speak. Well, thanks guys again for watching another one of my videos, and I hope you enjoyed this one. And until next time, take care everybody, and no love, I didn't break your coffee coin mug. I just put it in my curio cabinet where I know it's gonna be safe for forever keeping. Thanks again everybody, take care. I don't have a tripod for my videoing, but look at what my son made me.